darling, this is so lovely. I'm standing with the good-looking Wayne Wilson.
G'day.
And this is the good-looking Brad.
Hello.
And this is the good-looking Robyn. And we're all standing around the good-looking, most delicious
Brabham. 1971 Brabham BT35.
Go further. Explain it.
So this is a Formula Atlantic car, which was made for a series in the UK and America, which had 1600cc limit on the engine. Nearly all of them had Ford engines.
Yes, and this is a Ford engine?
Yes, and this is absolutely as it was in the period. It's got a Motorsport Australia logbook and it competes in historic racing wherever I take it. Yeah. Last weekend I was racing at the Bend International Circuit south of Adelaide. Okay. That's why it's dirty.
It looks absolutely exquisite to me.
Yes.
Low slung racing.
It's the most fun you can have with your bum 2 inches off the ground.
You want to put that to a test?
When you get to my age, that's about the best you can do. But the New South Wales Club, the Historic Sports and Racing Car Association, runs 4 meetings a year when we're able to, and 2 of them at Sydney Motorsport Park at Eastern Creek. And this will be out again in November there. And we have a field of 15 to 25 of these cars that come from all over Australia.
And are you racing per se?
Absolutely racing.
Absolutely.
All the marks on this car, on the front there, that black stuff, that's coming from chasing somebody a metre in front of me at 100 miles an hour.
Oh, 100, ladies and gentlemen, 100 miles an hour is 200 kilometres an hour, correct?
That's 130 miles an hour, but that's what we do. This car does about 240.
Oh, wow. And so, could you explain more? What length is it?
I don't know, about 3 metres odd, but it's the size of a Mini. But it weighs 450 kilos. The engine makes about 200, just over 200 horsepower. Okay. And it's very hard to ride around. It's not something you can take to the shops. And we like to keep them going to remember the period of these cars. This was built by Sir Jack Brabham and Ron Torinac, his designer partner.
Okay, in Adelaide?
No, in Weybridge in Surrey. They're technically English cars. So Brabham and Torinac started motor racing developments in the 60s and built 2 cars that won the World Championships in 66 and 67.
Yes.
And this car's physically the same size as those cars, but they had V8 engines in them, Formula One cars. Brabham Racing Organisation were the largest maker of customer formula cars in the world. Their competition was so you could buy cars with the Brabham name and race them in various formulas below Formula One.
Could you also drive them on the road?
No, never.
Never.
No, they're not road cars. They're racing cars.
They're racing.
And they had competed in Formula 2. Formula Atlantic for this car.
Being a description of the size of the engine?
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
So your Formula 1 was your most powerful?
In 1966, Formula 1 became 3 litres. So Jack used a Repco engine from Melbourne. Some friends of mine built that engine and they sent it over to Europe from making it in Melbourne. And Jack asked for a spare engine, so they had to get the approval of the whole board of Repco to make another engine. But Jack...
Jack, for those who don't know, was one of the most famous racing car drivers in the world.
He won the World Championship in 1959 and 1960, driving for Cooper. Then he started his own business in the early 60s with Torinac. He sent Torinac a one-way ticket to come over to design
Torinac being?
Ron Torinac's his business partner.
Yes.
He died a couple of years ago. And they started making Formula Junior cars, which were much smaller engines, 1100 cc's, and then they
for a different form of racing.
Yeah, Formula Junior. They had very small, narrow tyres.
Junior also being about the age of a person who could
No, Formula Juniors. Formula Juniors still race. So they're 60 years old. They came out between 1958 and 63. And then Formula 3 cars, which had 1000cc engines. commonly called screamers.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And then Formula 2 cars, which after 90, became 1600, like this car.
Yeah. And so you're constant, or 4 times a year you race this vehicle in New South
Wales. In New South Wales runs 4. Last year I did 9 meetings around Australia. So I went to Queensland, South Australia, Victoria 3 times, and New South Wales.
Can I come next time, please? It must be extraordinarily exciting and to be able to drive such an exquisite.
We had last weekend at the Bend near Adelaide. We had 5 cars in a row trying to win to overtake each other, and we had 4 or 5 cars went across the line in the same second of the finish.
Oh, how exciting! I would like to thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and for bringing this extraordinary, this exquisite racing car, isn't it?
That's what we like doing.
And also, this vehicle, these were built by craftsmen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They weren't just tradesmen, were they?
Oh no. And they're in fact works of art.
Yes.
They are works of four-wheeled art.
Say that again.
They're works of art.
And can you say this is the most exciting?
This is the most exciting thing you can do with your bum 2 inches off the ground.
Thank you, goodness man. That is delicious. Would you like to run away with me? That's the question.